All right, it's time for another interview in place, and a good one here. Tobruk Blaine joins us. She is the director of Beyond Football at San Jose State University. Tobruk, you know how this goes. We're going to ask you a couple lighthearted questions here first before we get into the business side. So how are you doing? I see you've got a great view of downtown San Jose, first of all.
Yeah, this is this is a window, but this is what my view is on my patio, which is also an office for my home. Yeah, we're doing good. We're doing good.
How has shelter in place been treating you?
You know, it's a blessing in disguise in many ways. I try to always see the positive of it. My husband's home more, and we're having a lot of family time. And even with an 18-month-old, it's been a little buck wild, but it's been really good and really nice. And we're just taking it all in because I know in these instances, normally we wouldn't really have all this family time together where we get
Sure.
breakfast together or dinner together and things like that.
Have you picked up any new routines, anything new?
We started every morning when we wake up, we listen to a 30-minute podcast or a book on tape. That's one of the big things that we do. And then the second thing that we have done as a family is we went down to City Hall and we picked up the litter picker-uppers, the little handheld things. And so every day we go on a walk with our daughter and we pick up litter in downtown San Jose. And it's become a tradition every single day.
All right, so there, the bar has been set now for the community service that you guys do daily. I like it. I like it. And maybe that's a good way to transition into your current role and what's been going on. Now, beyond football, we talk a lot about it, right? But I have to imagine that not being able to be in the same place as the student athletes and have these group meetings, you know, in place and do all these things that are so hands-on with beyond football has been a challenge. How did that change throughout the spring?
Yeah, we got about halfway through my programming for Beyond Football when all of this happened. And as we all were a little shocked and sort of scrambling on how to proceed, you know, all my events are in person and with alumni and business professionals that we bring in. So definitely had to get a little creative and I think give myself a little bit of grace as it started going because I had moments of guilt because I think I wasn't accomplishing what I normally would be accomplishing. At the same time, still trying to be a parent, you know, because we didn't have childcare. And so it was a lot. But I think I just kind of put one foot in front of the other and slowly started figuring out how it was going to work best. And the first thing that I started doing is I just started scheduling one-on-one Zoom meetings with the players. And so from there, it spiraled into how I could help them, even if it wasn't in a group setting at an actual event that I had intended to do. It was more on a one-on-one basis.
Right. And so many employees have talked about this is kind of forced creativity to think of things that normally you wouldn't even have to consider and try and execute. And I imagine that's the same thing for you, right?
Absolutely. You know, we were lucky to get some of the scheduled, like, for example, we had a scheduled site tour at the San Jose Earthquakes in April. And luckily, the Quakes were still really interested in connecting with us and connecting with our players. So what we ended up doing was a panel discussion on Zoom. And there's a level of me that almost feels like moving forward, I might do that as a precursor to taking the tour. You know, before we actually do the tour, we have a panel discussion to gauge interest. And then from there, we go on the tour. And the same thing goes with the one-on-one meetings. I had more interest and initiative taken by the players because I was, you know, reaching out to them, let's get something scheduled, let's put something on the calendar, versus having my door open at the office and they pop in here and there because it can be a little bit more casual. So, I mean, there's goods in both sides of it, but I think moving forward, when we come out of this, I will definitely take some of the things that I've done during shelter in place and work from home into the future.
Well, and one thing that's very fresh maybe in the minds of some of the Spartan fans who saw it on social media over the course of the last week was the walk a mile in her shoe. And that's something that was this great moment last year. We had tons of positive feedback from student athletes that participated in that. And this year, gosh, it had to be all virtual, right? But still, there were these great videos, there were these great moments from coaches and student athletes. Talk about the execution of that virtually and what the players got out of it.
It was incredible. Probably in March, early April, I connected with the YWCA. They still didn't quite know what they were going to do with Walk a Mile at that point. And they kind of wanted to discuss options. And one of our content creation interns that works with Cam Radford came up with the idea of doing a TikTok video where the guys put on heels at their home and we do some sort of dance video. And if they had some level of heel or like a slipper or something that they could put on. And so it sort of spiraled from that. And we thought, well, since last year we had this amazing video of, you know, Tyler Nevins and Dejon Packer, Chandler Hawkins going viral, what a great kind of build up for Walk a Mile in Her Shoes. So it started there. And then YWCA finally made the call that they were going to do this virtually during the same week that they normally do it. And so what that allowed me to do, and I think it's because of what we've done in the past 2 years, is reach out to all the other head coaches and all the other sports programs and see if they want to get involved as well. So we had basically all of our athletic teams participating, including football this year, which made it even more powerful. And it was awesome. We have a really great partnership with the YWCA. I mean, it's 3 blocks from our campus, and we work with them in more capacities than just this event. So it was really fun.
We're talking with Tobruk Blaine. She's the director of Beyond Football. One thing that I was talking to Eileen Daly last week about was the creation of not only Beyond Football, but now Beyond Sparta. And I know Laura Alexander will be a big part of that in the new role that she has. Maybe talk a little bit about how you're also helping that get off the ground and what it will be. I guess it's kind of an extension of what you're already doing, but just in the whole population of the student athletes. So talk about Beyond Sparta coming up.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's really, really pretty exciting. I knew taking this job that there was an opportunity for growth in this role and in this student athlete development component. And so I've had in the back of my head for the 3 years I've been here on how I want to build something foundational that's making a great impact that will hopefully feed and leak into all the other sports programs. And it's done exactly that. About a year ago, I pitched the idea to Eileen about, you know, how can we make this be something more? And I think she always knew it could be, but I really wanted to be able to have a part of that. And I think with some of the changes happening in our athletic department and this transition for Laura Alexander and her new role, it just seemed like the timing was right. And so in the past month, we've worked really hard, Eileen, Laura, and myself, in sort of establishing what Beyond Sparta will be. I know last fall, Marie had brought the concept up to our all-staff faculty, our all-staff meeting, coaches meeting, and sort of what that was, the idea of it, but the way it was going to get implemented and how we got to it was a work in progress. So we're now finally putting roots into the ground. And for me, it just shows that what our student athletes have done up to this point has been beneficial, powerful, and noticed by our athletic department, by our university, by our community, and that it's needed. We all know it's needed for everyone. And so we're really excited about being able to roll this out to all of our student athletes.
Yeah, and it's not like the work that you're doing currently or even in the past was only football. I mean, we've seen student athletes go out and make visits and be part of events that are from different sports too, but this will just be all encompassing now, right?
Yeah, it makes it a little bit more intentional and like directed versus kind of overarching. So the idea is that Beyond Sparta is our student athlete development program at San Jose State. That's the concept. It's sort of the umbrella that encompasses all the other sports. And underneath that is Beyond Football. And underneath that is whatever we want for volleyball and basketball and so on and so forth. Coaches are already doing this type of work within their own programs. They just don't have necessarily all the resources or the support that they need. And so myself and the team that I'm creating will come in and provide support in those capacities. It will, there's 500 student athletes. And right now I work directly with 100 of them, but it will take time and it will come in phases. But ultimately all student athletes are going to have access to the community engagement, the campus engagement, and the career engagement components that I have worked really hard with in building the foundation for Beyond Football.
All right, so we're talking with Tobruk, Blaine, the director of Beyond Football, and we always like to talk about what's upcoming, right? And I know there's a lot of kind of unknown at this point in time, but what upcoming initiatives are you working on right now?
Well, one thing that I've been trying to do a lot on over this shelter in place is building out my social media content. We have a ton of alumni that, whether they're former football players or swimmers or just San Jose State grads, in addition to business leaders and professionals within our community that want to get involved, have already been involved. So building out my social media platform is one of the biggest things that I want to do and that I've been working towards. We've been doing Where Are They Now Wednesdays, highlighting former football players and kind of the success they're having off the field in a Beyond Football capacity. So I want to see that grow outside of just the walls of football. On Thursdays, I've been doing a Thursday supporter spotlight on business professionals and leaders and those that have given back to our student athletes in many ways, whether it be providing internships or being a mentor in those ways. We've always done Beyond Football Fridays, highlighting the work of our athletes in the community. So building that out more and just highlighting more of the work that we're doing on a day-to-day, because it is a day-to-day thing that these athletes are doing incredible things that don't necessarily get highlighted. And we also have former athletes and business professionals that are helping support this.
Right.
So that's one big piece of it. And then another thing I have kind of coming up that I'm really excited about I'm hoping 2020, it might have to roll into 2021, but is this Women in Leadership, whether it's a conference or a luncheon or convention style. It's going to kind of depend on where we have as far as finances go and as far as COVID. But providing our upperclassmen with opportunities to network and explore entrepreneurship and help develop an identity outside of their sport, and that's focused on our females within our athletics department. So I'm really excited about that. And I've already talked to people about what that will become and how that will grow. And then the third piece that I want to mention that I think is really important right now and will be a foundation for not just for Beyond Sparta is social justice work. We have a lot of athletes who are really passionate about it. We have a legacy here at San Jose State in regards to, John Carlos and Tommy Smith. Yeah. And we have built out a couple, some groups of student athletes. Football has their own, and then we have a mixed group with some women's soccer players and football, basketball, so on. And we're building that out right now of just finding safe places for students to talk and to educate and to learn and grow. And I think that will be a big foundation of Beyond Sparta moving forward, not just once a year we talk about it, but like an actual thing we're doing on a regular basis. So, and I also want to mention that what Beyond Sparta will be and become is very similar to what Beyond Football is and is becoming.
Yeah.
They're the same thing. And the cool thing is about my job is that I just figure it out. Like, it evolves and I get to try things out and see what's good and what's not good. And as we go, we build on it and we grow it. There's no framework or, curriculum and lesson plan that says this is how it's done. And that's what's really exciting is I get to be creative and connect with other people that have ideas, and we build on that. And what might work for women's basketball might not work for golf. What might not work for golf will work for football. And that's really, I think, a big part of what will make our student athlete development program, in my opinion, the best in the country.
The always busy Tobruk Blaine, thanks so much for taking some time with us. Hey, get back to your family and enjoy the weekend.
Thanks, Justin. Take care.